Happy evening, everyone. A warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining today's session. Today, we are introducing the Certificate in Transaction Analysis, CTA. In today's session, you will learn the basics of transaction analysis, how to understand the behavior and emotion, and simple conflicts management techniques. We have a lot of new members joining us today, students, counselors, and people interested in personal growth. For all of you, we have a short introduction video of our mentor. This will help you to understand our mentor's background and experience. So let's quickly watch the video.
Dr. Hussain Basha, a visionary leader empowering minds and transforming lives. In a world where minds seek meaning and hearts yearn for hope, stands a visionary dedicated to empowering people, inspiring transformation and creating a world of peace. He is Dr. Hussain Basha, a beacon of the human mind. A distinguished psychologist, special educator, life coach, professor and author and social activist, Dr. Hussain Basha is a licensed rehabilitation professional under the Rehabilitation Council of India, Government of India. For over 2 decades, he has touched and transformed the lives of more than 2 lakh individuals through thousands of motivational sessions and training programs conducted across India and abroad. His impactful sessions have inspired people from Tamil Nadu, Puducherry, Kerala and Odisha to international destinations including Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Riyadh, Muscat, Doha and Colombo. A passionate advocate for youth empowerment and community development, Dr. Hussain has been devoted to serving humanity since his student days. An exceptional academic, he holds 13 degrees in diverse fields such as psychology, social work, business administration, human resource management, commerce, law, and international business. A true lifelong learner, he continues to prove that education is the most powerful tool for transformation. He is a certified national trainer and author of Junior Chamber International, JCI, and serves as director of the Lions Club of Padiyanallur, President of the Art of Peace Foundation and WHO International, Director of the National Institute of Psychology and Research and Chief Executive Officer of Mastermind International, which operates across India, the UAE and the USA. A prolific writer, Dr. Hussain has authored several acclaimed books including Varkei Vasapadum, Life Will Obey You, Vetri Kale NLP, The Art of Success NLP, Unarvai Unnai, Feel Yourself, and Yennai Thedum Vinakan, Questions That Seek Me. His works continue to inspire readers to explore their inner strength and embrace positive change. In recognition of his exceptional contributions, he has received over 16 national and international awards, including the Best Teacher Award from the Ministry of Education, Best Citizen of India Award, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Award, and Psychology Hero Award. Dr. Hussain has also created 3 world records in mental health awareness: the world's longest 16-hour continuous online training marathon, the Global Happiness Synchrony involving over 200 trainers worldwide, and the world's longest human chain for mental health awareness with more than 2,000 participants. He has also contributed to the media as the concept creator of the documentary Kadal Kadanda Paravaigal and worked as an associate director and actor in several social awareness short films. Through his globally recognized online diploma programs, DCP and MDCC, he has empowered more than 5,000 participants, of whom 90% are women, helping them build confidence and self-reliance through psychological education. Every word he speaks ignites the belief, yes, I can. A radiant force transforming minds and lives, he continues to be a guiding light of human emotion and psychology. Dr. Hussain Basha, the psychology hero of human emotion. All glory to the Almighty.
Thank you. I hope you now have a better understanding about our mentor. Now, without any delay, I would like to invite our mentor to take over the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Jasima. Happy evening. Yes. How are you all? Yes. Can I have a powerful message? Powerful yes to start this session from everyone. Yes. Okay. So we have Shahida. The first message from Shahida, Divya, Fauzia, Khalil brother Afrin. Okay. Transactional analysis. Okay. How many of you hearing this word for the first time? Transactional analysis. Or if you are already aware, type yes. If you are hearing this name for the first time, type no. Transaction analysis. Are you aware about this topic? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Fine. So, what is this topic about? What is this topic about? So, this is basically a part of ACLC course, Advanced Certificate in Life Coaching. So, we have today a guest and the new students who joined for only for this topic, and students who are already there in ACLC. Right. So, when you are hearing this word transaction, what do you mean by transaction? What do you mean by transaction? So when you listen this word transaction, yeah, what do you remember? Communication. Okay. What else? Communication between two. Okay. So the transaction means communication between two. Exchange. Okay. Exchange. Transferring thoughts. Okay. Transferring thoughts. Right. So what do you mean by transaction? Transaction. So analysis, we know that the analysis is the analysis. So what do you mean by transaction? So have you heard this word? Give and take, yes, that also can be told in that way. Okay. What do you mean by transaction? Yeah. Energy exchange. Okay. Wonderful. Energy exchange. Buying and selling in a business. Wonderful. So mostly we use in money. Yeah. Money transactions. We use transaction. Buying and selling in a business. Okay. What else? What else? Yeah. What do you mean by transaction? Yeah. Anything else? Accountability. Okay. So here we mean a transaction is a communication. Yeah. Transaction means communication here, nothing else. Transaction means communication, just passing information or passing information in between two. Passing information in between two, how we communicate in between two. So what is analysis? Analysis, we know that how we can analyze. So this is what we can call, in short, we can tell the transaction analysis about communication in between two or in between two groups, in between two people. Yeah. So that's what so we can understand from here. This is one of the personality theories where we can understand people and we can understand people's behavior. So which was developed by Dr. Eric Berne in 1958. Have you heard this word, Eric Berne, before? I have used many times in various therapies, telling his name. Anybody remember the name, Dr. Eric Berne? For various concepts, I have used his name. Yeah, he is the one. Yeah, he is the one who told the personality of a child is complete by the age of 6 and 7. In between 6 and 7, within 6 and 7, the personality is complete for a child, unless and until the child is changing the environment, or unless the child is putting extra effort to change it. Otherwise, it is fixed. It is fixed. So this is what told by Dr. Eric Berne. So do you remember now? Yeah. So the personality of a child. So it should be complete within the age of 6 or 7 maximum. Okay. So transaction analysis is basically about communication in between two, an exchange of communication. It may be verbal or non-verbal. The communication doesn't mean that a person is communicating verbally. So it may be verbal or maybe non-verbal. So even the body language, whatever I am doing here, so that matters. Even you can mute the sound and listen to me. So you will understand to some extent what I'm coming to do, what I'm coming to say, what I'm doing. So the basically you get some idea. Other postures are gestures what I use. By seeing that, you'll get some idea. Yeah. So how we see verbally and non-verbally, how we communicate verbally and non-verbally. So that is what called transaction. How the communication is taking place. Yeah. So sometimes the transaction it may be within us. It's not necessary that the transaction should be in between two people. It may be within oneself. So how many of you are communicating with your mind now? Yeah, the instinct, or we have self talks. Sometimes we are talking within us, and we are discussing many things within us. Yeah. So how many of you are talking to you now within yourself? Yeah. Yes. This is also called a transaction. That means some sort of communication. It can be with some people, or it can also be with us. Yeah. Okay. So we are having the communication within us. That is also called transaction. So why it is matter? So what the transaction analysis will give us? Yeah. First of all, I will understand what is in me and how I am communicating within me and how I am communicating with the people who are there in my close circle. It will be helping us to understand. For example, a person who is coming and talking to us, so we'll be having idea. So what he is going to talk and how he is talking, what is his basic background, and what he is expecting from us, and what kind of changes I have to make so that I will build relationship with him. Yeah. So these kind of things can be analyzed from transaction analysis. So that's the beauty of this therapy. This is also a kind of psychotherapy. There's a psychotherapy and personality theory, and there are various topics are there. Various topics are there under transaction analysis. Not only about analyzing the transaction, there are wonderful topics are there under TA. So in short, we call TA. In short, we call TA. So how many of you remember the life position? I'm okay, you are okay. I'm not okay, you are not okay. I'm okay, you are okay. Yeah, I'm not okay, you are okay. This kind of the words we normally use, no? How many of you remember this? Yeah, actually, it is from TA. We have heard this in many places, no? Actually, the root is TA. It was Eric Burns' analysis. This concept, what I'm okay, you are okay, no? That is based on the life position of Dr. Eric Burns. It's a wonderful concept. Various concepts are there. We'll be having a discussion about it. Okay. So you got the basic idea. What is transaction analysis? Transaction analysis is nothing but a communication analysis. Yeah. So what I am doing within me and what I am doing with other people, and why it is helpful to understand others, to understand me. Yeah. To understand myself and understand others. So it will improve the relationship. Okay. If you are getting the first line, that one-liner meaning, can you please type yes? That one-liner meaning of transaction analysis. So what transaction analysis is going to give? Yeah, the basic line, the one line. Okay, we'll have in detail. We have about 10 classes. We have various analysis, and we'll be finding out about us, and I will be attending questionnaires to analyze others, and how we are going to use it in therapy. All these things will be there. Okay, right. So it is a tool for growth. So normally we are living in an era where we are paying more attention towards intelligence, IQ, isn't it? We are paying more attention towards IQ. We are judging people, or we are communicating with the people based on the level of IQ. TA is telling that, yeah, EQ is important more than the IQ. Boy, any idea? TA is telling emotional quotient is important than the IQ. That means we can tell in this way, your personality, yeah, your emotional intelligence is important than your knowledge. Than your knowledge. Why? Why is it important? Can you give one point? Why UQ is important than the IQ? Empathize others, wonderful. Why should we pay more attention towards UQ than the IQ? Yeah. Consent, yes, is wonderful. Yes. Then, so why we should pay more attention towards UQ? See, we know that both are important. If you want to ask somebody what is important, IQ or UQ, both are important. The balance is important here. So now we are living in an age where we pay more attention towards IQ, the knowledge based. So when we become knowledgeable and we think that we can attain something, of course, we can attain with the knowledge, but without emotional balance, emotional quotient, whatever you attain, the relationship cannot be maintained successfully. So nowadays we are facing problem. We are having cases in counseling and all. We can see that the people who are knowledgeable in their respective areas, so they lack in EQ. Agree? How many of you agree with that? Yeah. So the EQ. So without balancing it, whatever knowledge you have, that will not be useful, and you will not be living a peaceful life. You will not be living a peaceful life. So basically, understanding the IQ, why it's important. So in this comparison, the UQ is more important than IQ. So that's what we are going to see in this chapter, transaction analysis, how it is important, why it is important, how to understand others and all these things. Yeah. So when we understand the EQ is important, so it will be helping us, yeah, to understand the people, how we can communicate with others in the society. The social psychology is based on EQ, not based on IQ. So how I'm communicating with the society, how I'm communicating with the people, it is completely based on the EQ, not by the IQ, right? So for that, TA will be helpful. And the philosophy wise, the people can change. Yeah, people can change. So it's not that we cannot change people, we can change people. So everyone has the right to be in the world, and they can live their life as per their choice. They can choose a life what they like. For this kind of analysis, so TA will be very much helpful. So TA is a vast subject. So in this 10 days class, we are giving the essence, the important, the core principles of TA. So which will be the base for anything. Okay, it can be studied for even for 1 year, like other therapies and all, CBT, NLP kind of things. So it's also a vast one. So whatever we are going to see in this 10 days, so the core concept, the principles of TA we are going to see. So this will be the base for the development. Yeah, right. So that is the benefit. Then the ego states. TA is coming up with 3 ego states. That means the ego states can be understood in the way mentality or the perception or the way how they think, feel, and behave. So this is a pillar. This is the foundation for TA. This is the foundation for TA. The 3 concepts, 3 egos, 3 egos. So the first ego is called parent ego. Parent ego state. So almost all the people, they come under these 3 categories. They come under these 3 categories. So I'll be just explaining in one line, and we'll see in detail after that. And we'll be having questionnaire also to find out which ego I belong to. So which ego is dominant in me. Okay. So let me explain the 3 egos. Number 1, parent ego state. What is parent ego state? So people who are having this parent ego state, their behaviors, their thoughts, and the feelings, so they copied from one of their parents. So even many of us having this nature, even without our knowledge. It's not that something deliberately we want to do. So, but with living with them, by seeing them, by being there with them, gradually we'll understand. Gradually we'll be learning. They will be trying to imitate their role model parent, and they will be reflecting in various ways of the parent, and they'll be behaving like their parent in some situation, in many situation, not in some situation, many situation. So these kind of people are having the state called parent ego state. Got it? The first ego state is called parent ego state. People who are getting the knowledge and the thought from their parent, and the responding in the present position like what their parents were responding. Those kind of reflections will be affecting, those kind of reflection will be reflecting in our day-to-day life. If you are having that kind of nature, that is called parent ego state. If you are understanding the one liner of parent ego state, can you please type P? Yeah, the parent ego state, what you are coming to say. Okay. Suppose if I ask you one question, so what is that one particular thing that you think that it has come from your parent? And many people acknowledged, and they told that, hey, you are behaving like your mother, hey, you are behaving like your father. So what is that one thing your parent told? You can raise hand and talk, or if you want to type, you can type. What is that one thing that your parent, that something came from your parent, somebody told? DNA. Wow, Umran. Okay, DNA, that is there. And that is not from your wish. That is not visible. I'm asking something visible. Satya, yes. It's an intellectual question. When we are talking about EQ, Imran is talking about IQ. He's telling the DNA. What is that one thing came from parent? Yeah, DNA. Yeah, it's a wonderful answer. Huh? Yes. Okay. Yes, Satya, want to tell something? Huh? Mannerism, giving or offering. Okay, that's just fine. Yeah, giving and offering, mannerism, joking. Okay, Ashifa is telling joking. My parents used to joke. Hand gestures like my dad. Okay, okay. Father's affection. Okay. What is that one thing you got from your parent? Knowledge from mother, father, and knowledge from mother. Okay. A skill from father. Okay. In service to others. Okay. Serving. Cooking from mother. Generosity. Zainab is so generous. Huh? Okay. Hereditary disease. Okay. So apart from personality, you got some diseases also. So if I ask, I think more than this, many people will be typing. What did you get in heredity from your parent? From your grandparent? Blood group, okay. Perception of experience, okay. What is that one thing you got from your parent? Yes. Diabetes. Okay. BP. Okay. What we mean only personality here, I'm just asking to know. So this will be helpful for the premarital counseling. So remember this, whatever you got from your parent, and from the heredity, anxiety, stress, anger, tension, with grandpa, pre-planning, okay, leadership. What is that one thing you got from your parent? Leadership qualities. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, got the idea, no? Parent ego state. Suppose in your behavior, something is reflecting like your father or mother. So that is called parent ego state. So that may be directly or indirectly, which you got from your parent. Sometimes the parent, we mean not only the parents, sometimes even the guardians. So who are taking care of us during the childhood, no? Caretakers. Suppose if the people who are living in even in the orphanages, so where they are seeing the activities of the guardians, the caretakers, so there also they get this knowledge, and they behave in that way. Sometimes people who are very kind, no, we can go and check their ego state. So they're very kind because their parent, one of the parents were having this nature. They used to give, they used to behave in that way. Okay. Right? So there are even subcategories there under parent ego state. We'll see later. There are three major categories. So if you understand, then we'll go, there are subcategories in parent ego state and other categories also, other ego state also. Clear? And next we have adult ego state. Adult means what? In short, there is a meaning for adult. Before I explain about ego state, what do you mean by adult? What is the meaning of adult? Can you please tell? What do you mean by adult? When we tell about adult, so something is coming in your mind. What is that? Adult is a person who is having after 18 years and going for voting with his own knowledge. Okay. 18 up age, maturity. Okay. So what do you mean by the matured? Okay, wonderful. Adult means there is a meaning, maturity. What else? Adult means kind, love, hereditary diseases, asthma. Okay. Sanjeevan, this answer is for this question or the previous question? I think both club together. Okay, anyway. What do you mean by adult? Matured behavior. Okay. Adult is moving from teenage to matured one. Okay. What else? What else? Adult. Understand the age. Okay. The age is age to understand something. Okay. Amazing. Yes. That's what I am asking. What do you mean by adult? Right. So many of you has mentioned opposite to the kid behavior. Okay. Zagra, can we call in this way? Matured one? Opposite to kid behavior? It's a matured one, right? Okay. Grown up to certain age. Yeah, grown up. Again, it comes under maturity. Seeing things in calm state. Yeah, seeing things in calm state. You're all right. Yeah, you are all right. Attained a level of maturity. So adult ego state, we mean here the maturity. The behavior, the thought, feeling, the direct response to the message instead of the excessive emotion, analyzing the message, being there in the present, now, here and now. Here and now. So when you are telling something, I am applying my mind in the present and I am responding to the level based on your question or based on responding to the level. So what is actually required? I'm not putting too much of emotion. I'm not putting too much of drama and all. Sometimes the why I'm doing drama, the parent ego state, sometimes the dramatic experiences will be there. The adult ego state, we mean here the maturity. So it's not putting too much of the emotion, and it is directly connecting with the present knowledge and the present situation and responding accordingly. Not putting too much of unwanted thing. That's called maturity. Yeah. So when I'm telling something, and if you feel like wow, you will tell wow. Okay. When I'm telling something, it's actually not wow, but you're telling wow, wonderful, amazing. Hey, I told you the basic message. I just passed the basic message. Why you're overacting? Yeah. You got the point? So adult ego state is a state, it's a logical mind is applied too much. Too much in the sense that we are not going to talk which is good or which is bad. This is analysis only. Yeah. So we'll come to know. We'll come to know what is required in a life. So adult ego state is a person who is responding in the ego state where he sees things in rationally and logically. He sees things in rationally and logically. Agree? Yeah. See, if I'm responding to your message, being there here and now, then I am adult. That is called adult here. I'm directly giving response to you. So when you're telling some message, I'm telling that no, I know that it happened 20 years back and it was not working. I know what my grandma was doing. Hey, what is why grandma is coming here? So when you are talking about something, you talk in the present. Analyze about this. And immediately you are going to the past or future and you are talking about something else. So that shows that you are not mature. So that's what adult ego state is telling. So when you are connecting logically, rationally, being there in the present, responding here and now is called adult ego state. If you are getting the basic line of adult ego state, can you please type A? Adult ego state is a state where you see things without over or too much of emotion and being there in the present and analyzing and doing it. Okay. Got it? The third one. So what could be the third one? Any guessing? You got parent, you got adult. That should be one thing. What is that? Elder. Elder already we got na, Divya. Parent is elder, adult is also matured. The one thing should be there. Then only it will be complete. Yeah? Child. Child ego state. Child ego state is that, and we have age-wise we are mature sometime, but our behavior, our body language, how we proceed things, so it will be like a child. It will be like a child. Childish doesn't mean that immature, but the way how we are handling it's look like a child. Even in the child, there are subcategories that we will be discussing in detail. And if your behavior and thought and feeling, how you are responding, if you are there like a child, that is called a child ego state. So how many of you have noticed people, so they are grown up, even people with 60, 70 years also, yeah, after 70, typically they are a child again. So even you can see 40, 50 and all, yeah. So you can see people like a child, childish behavior, and they will be playing with the children, and they will behave like a children, behave like a children, and they are with the children, and the way how they communicate like child. Have you seen those kind of people? Yeah, someone after old age, senility age, after 70, 80, yes, people sometimes they behave in that way. Even in the 40, 50, the later adulthood. So there also people behave like child. Yeah, generally, yeah. Generally, as typical example of a child ego. Now people are confused. Who is that Genelia? And how many of you know Genelia? And before knowing child ego state, I want to know who is Genelia. How many of you don't know Genelia? You know Genelia? If you know Genelia, you may not be understanding. You have to tell with the name Hashini. How many of you know Hashini? No. Hashini, you don't know. Okay, in the break, I will try to put the clip of Hashini. If anybody is having that clip, Hashini's clip, you can post it in the chat box. We will open Hashini's clip and see. Hashini is one of the characters, one of the actors from a Tamil movie. Yeah. And she behaves like a child. She behaves like a child, and the way how she speaks like a child. But she is basically adult, age-wise. But how she does, she behaves like a child. So how many of you are impressed with Hashini? Or how many of you are tensed with Hashini? Some people will be getting angry with Hashini. Hey, they like age like a donkey and you are doing it. Somebody is sending some message. See, who is that? I asked the clip. Jessima has put the history. The whole history she is putting now. She is having some tension with Hashini. The same clip only. But Hashini looks like a ghost here. Jessima, in this in this Hashini doesn't look like Hashini. It looks like she's mentally unstable. We have to give emotional support. No, we'll find some other clip. Clip. Okay, right. We'll see. Jabanisha is trying to send something. See, Jabanisha has found something else. This child ego state result of such state of self. Rakshita, it may or may not be. It may or may not be. It doesn't have any connection with the traumatic experience. It is having connection with the upbringing level, upbringing method, how she was there and which situation she was there, how the parents were handling. So all these things matters. Yeah, I love Hashini only. Yeah. Okay. Jessima liked Hashini is because Janilia is doing. And there are so many Hashinis are there in Instagram. Yeah. So this all online Hashinis. When you go and she's getting tensed seeing all Hashinis who are there in Instagram. She likes only Janilia. She can accept only Janilia's Hashini. She doesn't want to see all the Hashinis there in the Instagram. Okay. Right. So the child ego state is basically so having the nature of a child, behaving like a child, this is the concept. If you are clear about a child ego state, what we are coming to say, yeah, can you please type C, child ego state? So what we are coming to say? Okay. As I told, there are further categories are there under these three categories: parent ego, adult ego, child ego. We'll be having a discussion. We'll be having analysis. All these things we'll be doing. So before doing analysis, basically, what is your ego state? Roughly, it means it's not necessary that you have to tell correctly. Approximately, can you imagine parent ego, adult ego, child ego? Just type first letter only. If you think that you have parent ego P and adult ego A, child ego C, let us see how is your analysis. Okay, A, we have more adult ego people here. C with A. It can be combination also, but first you'll find out the majority one. There can be combination. There can be combination. Yes. Combination may be there. Okay. So have you seen anybody with parent ego state in your circle? You can mention the name or you can mention the relationship with that person. Anybody with the parent ego state? With the parent ego state, just for analysis. Hubby and daughter. Okay. Hubby and daughter, they are from parent ego state. Okay. So they are taking care and sometimes they may be giving advices and all. Okay. Shamir is mentioning brother. Okay. Anybody in your circle with the parent ego state? Yeah. Brother, mother. Okay. Right. So anybody from your circle, adult ego state people in your circle, adult ego people, they're speaking straight to the face. Many. Okay. Straight to the face, and they don't want to put drama, add sugar coating words and all. You cannot accept from them, and they'll be telling to the face. If they don't like, they'll tell don't like. They don't bother about your feeling. But something has to be improved in adult ego state, yes. But the core nature, but they don't want to please anybody. Me? Okay. Okay. Am I looking like an adult person? Okay. All right. I'll accept. But I think that I am having this parent ego also sometimes. But if you are analyzing me as adult ego person, then okay, I will consider it. I'll accept it. Okay. Anybody else in the adult ego state? The maturity that so they connect directly. Can someone get with grandparents? Yes, yes, yes. Of course. Yes, Rizana, we can get. Actually, in upbringing, so where we are there during the childhood, so if the grandparents were there, if they have seen the grandparents, that may also affect. That may also having in the personality reflection. That may be there. Yes. Okay. Right. You got the basic idea now? So all the three states. So what are the advantages we have when we analyze it? What are the advantages we have and analyze it? So before that, we'll see the subcategories also. Are there any subcategories? Parent ego state has got two kinds of subdivisions. So how we are getting all this nature? It's a vast collection of recording from the past. Sometimes it's unquestioned. Whatever our parent did, so we used to see, and indirectly it is imposed on us. The deeply embedded, that means the connected, the feelings and thinking what we had during the childhood. When we can understand, we can handle our lives. Okay, yes, Zagara, you are right. That is the purpose of TA. So when we understand, then we will be in a position to handle our life. Even many times we don't understand ourselves. That is the matter. So TA is giving solution for both. Understand yourself and understand others in order to maintain and improve the good relationship. Yeah. And whatever we have felt during the childhood, whatever we have thought, whatever we acted, whatever we have received from one of our parent, so that matters. From there we get. So what all things? So based on that we get the values. What is the values? So how do we see something is good or bad here in the world? So whatever may be good or bad, we will be judging immediately within second. If I tell something, you will be in a position to tell whether it is good or bad. If I'm telling about some person, you can immediately tell whether it is good or bad. So anything you can judge immediately. So because of the values what you got from your parent. Yeah. The same me, should, ought, this kind of words. So many times parents are teaching in this way. You should do that. You ought to do that. We must do that. These kind of words we learn from the parent, because the parent, they are very concerned about our development, and they more focus in these words, and they use the word always. You should be perfect, and you should be a good person always. You should never do this kind of mistakes. The rules are all set during the childhood. Based on that, we are become judgmental, and we are getting the perception about the life, and we are coming to know what is good or what is bad. Actually, at that stage, whatever we got, that may be changing in future, but that is fixing in our mind. That is fixing in our mind, and it is there in our mind. So based on that, we take decisions. And the source, so the where we are getting from the early years, and from the authority figures. Authority figure means the parent. Whatever they have done, when we keep on seeing it, and we are developing that skill. This is how the parent ego is fixing in our mind. This is how we are fixing our mind, the ego and all. Yeah. So based on this, whatever religion we follow, whatever traditions we follow, even the dress code. The people from some community, they wear particular the kind of dress, because so they think that it is very good. That may be the prejudicial views, whatever fixed in the childhood. But this is how we are getting from the parent. Work ethics, handling money, raising children, family roles, how we do the work, the products, companies, institutions, going along with the people, all these things, it is coming from the parent ego. From the parent ego. Mm. Okay, so Devi is coming up with one issue. So it was not fixed during the childhood. That means that was not correct during the childhood, but after some classes, after some incidents, so that may change. That's why even Dr. Eric Ben is telling that your personality will be complete by 6-7. But when you are okay, when you are coming up to do some sort of changes in your life, you can change it. It's not that nothing is permanent here. But suppose if you are not working on it, and gradually the same thing, whatever you got during the childhood, that you will be following. For example, a mother is not okay, mother is beating the children, and she is angry with the children, and she is not guiding the children properly. The same thing may be repeated with the children. So they will start doing the same thing to their children or to the society. But when they grow and they realize, okay, this is what my mother did, but I don't have to do the same thing. I don't want to do the same thing. So better I'll change my behavior. This is what my mother did. It's not necessary that I have to repeat the same. So at some point, people change drastically. You can see many people, you can see the changes. So during the childhood, they may not be okay. And after some time, when they become adolescent and when they become adult, and they will realize themselves and they will change the environment. They will try to study something, and completely they will become a new person, new version. So it can be done. It can be done. Suppose if you are not doing the same thing, typically whatever you used to do, you will be doing. Because we think that it is permanent, that cannot be changed. And we will be going with the same thing, which may not be helpful for them. So parent ego state is a state. So where we learn from the parent, maybe the religious value, traditional value, cultural values, the dressing style, work ethics, how we behave with the people, all these things we learn from them. So this is how a parent ego state is doing. Yeah. So when we talk about parent are critical or conditional, or parent are something nurturing. So what about the parental values we have normally? So parent are lenient and kind, caring, or some parent is criticizing. We can see two kinds of parenting, isn't it? In general. But ultimately the aim is same. We cannot question that aim or their intention. The children, the parents, they will be having the intention that our children should be good. But the way how they communicate, are they same? That is the matter here. Are they same? Both the parent who are caring, parent directly who are paying the nurturing value, or parent who are conditioning and expressing the critical value. The two kinds of parenting, parent egos can be explained here. These are the two types: nurturing parent and controlling parent. In short, we call NP. In short, we call NP for nurturing parent. So what they do? They are sympathetic, caring, and supporting the children. Yeah. So whenever the children are going through some sort of difficulties, they are offering comfort, encouraging, soft, and they come forward to say that I am here to help you. I am there. So these kind of words, it comes from the nurturing parent. The controlling parent, the bottom line is same. Bottom line is same. What is that? So they want to give something to the children. So what is valuable? But the way how they handle, it's like a critical one, the fault finding, judgmental, and directive. That means directly they are pointing out the problem and setting the rules. The voice will be very high. You should know better. You should do this kind of things. The same thing only, but both the parent NP and the CP, so they have two different value system, two different ways. And a child who is living and who is there under the system of these kind of parents, so will it be affecting their behavior or not? How they are handling the situation. If they are coming under nurturing parent, the way how they handle also, it will be smooth and caring. And when they are under CP, controlling parent or critical parent, so there we'll be finding a lot of problems with others. Yeah. Okay. So now you got the difference, nurturing parent and controlling parent. So the major parent ego, under parent ego, there are two kinds of ego. So one is nurturing parent ego, another one is critical parent ego. One is nurturing parent ego, another one is critical parent ego. So by explaining this, how many of you are remembering now your parenting style, your parents' parenting style? Okay. Option parenting and selective parenting. So that can be considered. Even we can go in detail about Rakshita. There are various parenting styles. So normally we consider parenting style as four. So we have separate session for parenting. Yeah. So we can call authoritarian parenting. Number two, permissive parenting. Number three, disengaged parenting. Number four, authoritative parenting. So where we have the option parenting, so we can call as disengaged parenting. So they don't engage. And selective parenting, we can call maybe something in permissive parenting or authoritarian parenting. So we'll have a detailed discussion later. Yeah, that all comes under this one. So here it comes everything together. The approach only matters here. The caring, the ultimate, that's why I told the bottom line is that the welfare of the children. That is clear. But how they handle, the way how they are dealing, that will be completely different. Yeah. So the nurturing parent, critical parent, and the controlling parent, both are having the ways are different, the methods are different. Okay. So do you remember now your how your parents were there during your childhood or even now? If it is nurturing parent, type NP. If it is controlling parent, type CP. There is nothing right or wrong here. There is nothing right or wrong here. So we are not judging anybody here. It's just for analysis. What was the parenting style? And even I think I can go in a specific way. Sometimes the father and mother will be something different. So let us, yeah. So as Zainab mentioned, you can mention in that way also. What is father's parenting style, and what is mother's parenting ego? Father and mother's parenting ego. How they were behaving. Okay. NP for Satya. NP for father or mother? Okay, both. Okay, wonderful. Both nurturing parent. Wonderful. Okay. As far as you are telling, father is NP, mom is CP. Father NP, mother CP. Okay. I think mostly, yeah, of course, it's not the common the rule or something. Mostly fathers come under controlling parent in many families. Fathers are controlling and fault finding, judgmental, and they want to be strict. And mothers, mostly it's a nurturing parent. Agree? Mostly. But not in 100% every case, everybody's case. It is different. But most of the houses, it happens. Most of the families, the father will be strict and mother will be lenient. And mother will be putting all the love on doing it. That is for boys. Okay. Our friend is telling you that is another point. Yeah, mother will be nurturing for whom? And that's for boys, not for girls. That is also a question. Okay. So in that way also we can do this. For daughters, fathers are NP. For sons, mothers are NP. Yeah. For boys, fathers CP. Yes, yes. Wonderful, wonderful. This is what we can call analysis. Now we're getting ideas now. Yeah. So the nurturing parent and the controlling parent. So these are the two parenting styles which we can discuss in detail. These are subcategories. These are subcategories what we can understand. Right? So we can have a small break of 9 minutes. And when we come back, we'll discuss in detail about even the child ego. There are subcategories and we'll be enjoying understanding about them and we'll be analyzing about it. Right? So we'll have a small break and come back after 9 minutes. It's a 5:53. Please come back at 6:02. Thank you. Yes. Have come back? Can I have a powerful yes from everyone? Yes. Okay. So who can give a glimpse about a TA? Whatever we have discussed so far. So there are some people who joined now. So who can give an idea? So what is TA? From whatever we have discussed so far. Quickly. Yes. You can raise your hand and talk. What is TA? Types, benefits. Come on, come on, come on. Someone. Yes. I'll be helping. Communication between us and others. Okay. So you can type now, yeah? So what is TA? What is TA? Transaction analysis. So people who join now, so they will get an idea. What is TA? Yes. So we have powerful Jessima. Yes, Jessima.
Good evening, sir.
Good
Yes,
evening. Yes.
I thought transaction analysis would be of some relationship issues or relationship communication between two, but I'm happy
Okay.
that it has a topic called parenting. Yeah, because it is very much essential how we does the parenting and how the communication between the child, even nowadays for non-verbal child, how we are communicating with them and how we are giving our inputs, our generational inputs to the child, so that they can become a young adult, superior adult. Yes, as I can see, your son and many of the underage group people, children, students are participating in powerful public speaking kind of forums nowadays, because they have a critical idea from their parents that to hold such public forums, even in a very small age and very underage, they can get to know powerful people, and it is basically come from their parents only, sir. I strongly believe in that. From their parents only, they get come to know some good communication, even the words they speak. So the parents has to effectively transact what and all they learned throughout their life within a small age. Within a small shorter period of time, they have to instill all the acts of kindness, everything to them. So you are a role model for us, as we are. You are instilling. You are being transacting many knowledge to us. Thankful. We are very thankful for that. Everyone who has been very knowledgeable should always transact their knowledges to others, even in a short period of time. That is the main thing, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Jessima. Just to give a glimpse of what we have discussed so far.
Background was,
About TA and what we have discussed so far.
Yes. TA is nothing but a communication between two people, what they give and what they take. And we have three types of egos. That is a parent ego, and yes. Then we had adult ego and the last child ego. So parent ego is nothing but as a role model. We have some role model parent or our parent itself. We will be having some inputs from the society, everything, and we are trying to parent like that when from the inputs we gained. And adult ego is nothing but everything in straightforward, not behaving like a child. We are always in the present and reacting to whatever the environment gives us, like we're behaving very maturely or behaving appropriately is called adult ego. And child ego is nothing but reliving our inner child, or being with like very lively with our, even the old age people can get child ego, like they are reliving their happy moments again like a child. So that's the thing.
Thank you, Jessima. Amazing. Okay, any questions? Any sharing? Whatever you discussed. Rakshita, you wanted to ask something? Okay. So, parent ego, we have two categories, subcategories. One is nurturing parent, another one, critical parent. Nurturing parent, critical parent, NP and CP. I do remember these two parent egos because when we are discussing about the transactions, how we can improvise the transactions, all these things we'll be having a discussion in detail. So how it is going to help us. Okay. And we can move ahead. Adult ego, we know that. Adult ego, we know that, as I told in the beginning in the introduction itself, it is a reality oriented person. The most rational, most logical. Yeah. So what is right, wrong means wrong. So what it is based on the things what is happening now. So not fixing with the not living in the past or the future. Yeah, not that kind of things. The analytical, rational, logical thinking. It is about the life experience and reasoning that will be done in adult ego state. And among these states, parent ego, adult ego, child ego. Among these states, so what do you think? Which ego is somehow okay, or it's better to have this ego? Of course, there is nothing right or wrong, but which will be convenient or which will be okay, which will be accepted according to you among these three? Parent ego, adult ego, child ego. So, which ego you think that it's better to have this ego in order to avoid problem or in order to not to have any confusion, this kind of things? What is your opinion? Adult ego. You got the point now. Of course, each ego has got their own merits and demerits. Yeah, but adult ego is advisable one mostly in order to have the clarity. So, strengthening the adult is a primary aim of transaction analysis. Whatever we are doing here, whatever concepts we are going to discuss here, the primary goal of TA is making us to go towards the adult ego. Making us to go towards the adult ego. It doesn't mean the parent ego is not good and child ego is not good. So those things we can improvise to go towards adult ego. And how it will be beneficial and all these things we'll be having discussion in detail. So whatever thoughts coming in our mind that we are making into the proper information, process it clearly. Yeah. So we can have some sort of experience from the past, but act in the present. So all your experience should not make you a prejudgmental, a prejudicial thoughts should not be there. So based on the ideas, whatever you have got in life, analyze in the present and take a solution. So that's what adult ego is telling. So that's what we are going to discuss. Yeah. So whatever appraisals, even in the appraisal means even in the corporate. Suppose if you are having adult ego and you'll be focusing on employees, the correct performance and all. If you are a parental or a child ego state person, automatically you'll be influenced with the various aspects. And even when you are discussing with the people, so we can discuss even in the business or other things. So based on the direct communication, the unbiased assessment will be avoided. So when we have more concept about the adult ego, yeah. And sometimes we fix in our mind from the past, and we think that this is what will be working, and we are going towards that. So that will be the problem in the other egos. But adult ego will be helping us in that way. But of course, there are demerits in adult ego that we will be discussing. So what do you think? What can be the demerits of adult ego? When we talk about this, there will be coming something in your mind based on the people who are there in your circle with adult ego. So what do you think? What will be the demerits, a disadvantage having the core adult ego state? What will be the? Yeah, they have less emotional quotient. Wonderful. Yeah, sometimes so they don't when we see too much of things with the fact and the data, sometimes we may be emotionally low or emotional quotient will be less. Yeah, emotionless. What about this? A person who knows about emotion and managing the emotion also. The same thing when he's telling it's wrong means wrong, but in a polite way by managing the emotion. Will it be good? He knows that directly telling something which is not good. So instead of doing that, and he's aware that he's having adult ego, but he knows that when he's directly telling somebody, that may hurt, that may spoil the relationship, and he's having awareness that he's having adult ego and managing his emotion and emotionally balancing and with the polite way and polite voice telling that I'm sorry. The message is sorry. Yeah, the message is sorry only. Instead of no, no, you should not do that. Instead of that, I'm sorry, I'm not comfortable with that. Can we do something else instead of this? Yeah. Can you wait for some more time? Yeah. So these kind of things can be improved when a person knows about the adult ego state. Okay. Got a basic idea? Is there anyone in your circle? Is there anyone in your circle who is having adult ego? You can mention the name or you can mention the relationship with that person. Is there anyone who is having adult ego state? Okay. Husband. I think many husbands are adult ego. Some people are telling he's having only the ego, not adult. I know that, yes. Yes? Yeah, he's having only ego, not adult. Okay. Dad. The fathers, the fatherly figures. Yeah, the fatherly figures sometimes they maintain the adult ego. They don't want to be emotionally quotient, emotionally overwhelmed in various situations, and they maintain that. And most of the mother-in-law also sometimes they become adult ego. Though they are parent ego for their children, they become adult ego for the daughter-in-law, isn't it? They maintain different egos in different situations. Yeah, with the partner, they become a child ego. So the same person in three role. Okay. Yeah. So the adult ego state also, we will understand what is the adult ego state and how we can see and how we can manage all these things we'll be discussing in detail in upcoming days. We'll be having a detailed discussion to find out our ego and all. Okay. And adult ego state in practice, how they behave. So they will be data driven. That means they will be talking about the data. It will be very difficult to convince them. You cannot say something like that. They'll be telling them, no, it's not happening. It's like that. I thought 1947, what happened? No. And they'll be giving the 1,000 people attended and 1,520 people they rejected. They'll come with the survey. And it will be difficult to manage them sometimes because they're data driven. So the thoughts and the feelings and all next after the data only. So the emotion will be very less. They'll be talking with the data. Now you will understand. People, a person who is living with the data, how he can live with the wife. Both are contradiction. Contradiction is there. So when he is talking with the data, a person who is fully loaded with the emotion, yeah, so there will be a conflict. There will be conflict. So there, the understanding should be there. The data and all we have to throw, and sometimes you should think that okay, I am adult ego, but it's fine. So when my wife is talking like a child ego person, when my partner is talking like a parent ego person, how can I correct my transaction with her? Ultimately, you want to live with her, no? If you want to live, and where is the adjustment should be taken? Where the adjustment should be done? Got the point? Can you connect that? So when husband and wife they are coming for couple counseling, the person two different ego states people are there. Husband is coming with the adult ego and wife is coming with the child ego, and he is telling that she's childish. She's not understanding. Yeah, she's not understanding. It's not her problem. It is a problem what she has got from the childhood. So that can be corrected. We can make her to come towards adult ego little bit, and you can also go towards her with from adult ego to child ego. Understand the point now? Isn't it easy to understand the people? Instead of telling in general, you adjust on all these things, just understand the ego, correct it. When husband is with parent ego, the critical parent ego, that means controlling, criticizing, and telling you have to do this one, that one to the wife. And the wife is child ego. Child also, there are various egos are there. Child, how it responds. So again, the problem starts. So these kind of understandings, the concepts and the ideas, so we can discuss in detail. Yeah. So basically, person, the data driven, they'll be talking with the data. And the logical decision, they take the decision based on the logic. Sometimes you cannot take decisions with the logic. And many times in family, yeah, the logics are missing. Isn't it? If you want to live with the logic, you have to live with the logic only, not with the partner. No partner will be living with you if you are too much of logical. And you know that you are logical, and you have to come down a bit. Sometimes you have to, you cannot see intellectually. Yeah. Too much of logical thing, it will be a problem. Of course, the adult ego is the best state of ego. But the adjustments, Devi, Devi is suffering from some client. Eh? Somebody has done something to say Devi. So some issues are there. She's coming with some new ego. She's not there in TA. Okay, right. Yeah, we'll find out. Devi, we'll have a different solution. Like transaction analysis, we'll do DA instead of TA. Devi analysis. What is done to Devi and what is Devi's problem? We'll solve separately. Okay. So the logical decisions is a separate thing. So we have to understand the person who is having that adult ego, he should understand. So what kind of changes and ideas should be corrected. Yeah. And present moment awareness. The concept is that the beneficial idea from adult ego is that so they basically respond to the level what is required. So whatever they are experiencing now, so based on that they respond. They just don't respond with the past. Because that is the actual problem, no, in life. Many times we are in the trauma. Many times we are in that old incident. We got stuck up there, and we don't want to live in the present, and we don't want to take the proper face that present. There's also a problem. So the present moment is our moment awareness is missing. So that is the core nature of the adult ego. No, these are the three egos, Shamir. These are the three egos are available under these three egos according to TA. According to TA. So it can be connected with the other egos also that we will be discussing. And if you are expecting various personalities, it is called a driver and TA. So there are some various drivers are there, the pushing factors. So the drivers will be discussing in separate chapter with that in the TA. And suppose if you want to have detailed analysis about different personalities, the different concepts are there. So that will be discussed in the Enneagram, so which is there in ACPC, the different course. So in that Enneagram is there. There they divide people into 9 categories. So here TA is dividing into 3 categories, and with the parent ego 2 categories and child ego again 3-4 categories. So these are the total thing. From this, the TA is trying to explain what kind of person and how to adjust and all these things. Okay. So adult ego state, person, data driven. So logical decisions they will be taking, and present moment awareness they will be having. They will be living in the present. Okay. Right. So this is the concept. Now we'll go to the child ego. We'll go to the child ego. So we don't have to explain too much about the child. So what is the nature of the child? What is the nature of the child? So they'll be childish. Their behavior, their feeling. So whatever they did during the childhood, the same thing they'll be repeating. Innocent, playful, yeah. whatever they did in a certain age, they'll be repeating here. And when you are talking about the child is basically impulsive. Agree? What is impulsive? You don't have to analyze anything. Immediately you'll be doing something. Instant action will be there without thinking. That's what children they do, no? They don't think anything about they don't connect about the past. They want they if they feel like a good, then they start doing it. So the impulsive is the nature, yeah, and pleasure seeking, and they want to be having the happiness. Agree? We were also happy during our childhood because we were focusing on more pleasure. The pain part will not be focusing. We'll be focusing more the pleasure seeking. That will be there in child ego. Rebellious. So they are naughty, mischievous. Yeah, rebellious. Sometimes they're adamant in things. Whatever they want to get it. Yeah. So that will be there. And curious. The curiosity will be very high. The child ego, the curiosity. And will be more curious to know about us. I'm curious to know about various things. So that's why if you are having a mobile, so most of the mobile features and all they know, but we don't know because they are curious. They'll be touching various places, the various options and various downloads, various apps. The children they have the curiosity. So it's a core nature of a child ego state. Yeah, and eager to please. So they want to get the work done, and they are eager to please anyone and get the work done. So this is the basic nature of the child ego. Basic nature of the child ego. Here TA is coming up with 3 types of children. Child. 3 types. So it can be 4, but majority 3, but it can be 4 also. We will discuss what is the 3 kinds of child. Number 1, natural child. So you will see like a child. Maybe the person is grown, but still largely they are unself-aware and express raw emotion. They will not be bothering about others. So they'll be talking, oh, oh. They're like a child, they'll be behaving and open, playful, and vulnerable. They're vulnerable. This is a typical child nature. So without any label on that. If you see a person with a child nature without any label, harsh, smooth, adamant, without label, just childish nature. That is called a natural child. If you are clear about natural child, can you please type in? So what do we call about natural child? Natural child is basically a child nature. There is nothing like a labeling like the child is like that, because we normally tell with some children. Some children we give the name, we give the label without the label. Yeah, natural child. The second child is a free child. Free child, we can call it in that way. The curious child, naughty child. Free child is the naughty child, very curious and want to know something. In Tamil we call no chutti kulanda. Yeah. So they focus more on that. And they are very active. And most of the time they will be controlled by the parent in during the like a controlling parent. They have to force the child, sit here, don't do that, don't pull it. Yeah, hyperactive, yes, hyperactive, we can put it in this free child category. But they will be learning many things and they will be having creativity, and they don't want to sit in one place, and they will be active, hyperactive. That is a problem. It is their nature. Okay, so a natural child is a child which is having the basic nature of a child, but it may not be disturbing, it may not be too much of curious. But free child, we give a label as free child because she wants to be free, or he wants to be free and explore many things, looking forward to the new experiences, having more creativity, and it will be very difficult to control. The parent has to move towards their controlling parent ego and control them, unaware of danger, too much of naughty. It's called a free child. If you are clear about free child, can you please type F? What do you mean by free child? Because based on this, we'll be having the transaction analysis, how we can analyze a child. Okay. The third one is called adoptive child. Adoptive child is a child who is matured. Child only, mature. They are compliant. They will be going along with the people, well behaved. And adoptive child, it can also be called as a rebellious child. Adoptive child can have two kinds of nature. Rebellious means, and they will be fighting against what they don't want. That means mature child. We can call in this way, child only, but mature child. Either they will adjust or they will fight. That's called adoptive child. Adopting with the situation. They'll be fitting into the situation by adjusting or by going against the concepts. Both are called adoptive child. And even in some places, we differentiate adoptive child and rebellious child. In that way also it is called. Both comes under that maturity level will be high, comparing with the natural child and the free child. So how many of you have felt in that way? Yeah, the neighborhood child because of my mother. Yeah. Have you seen this kind of children? And when you see them, and there will be too much of maturity they'll be having. They're basically children, but their level of maturity will be very high. And they'll be adjusting with everybody. They'll be adjusting with the situation. Basically, we tell no, goodbye. Yeah, good girl. We give this command to these children. But sometimes they will be fighting also. Mostly they, exactly. The Shamir has find out. Yeah, the eldest son, eldest daughter. So mostly they come under this adoptive child, and they will be looking after their younger their siblings. They become in that way by seeing their parent. They become adoptive child, adjusting child. When it is been positive, we call adoptive directly, and sometimes in the negative, in the sense when they fight, when they don't want to cooperate, in that way we call rebellious child also. Adoptive childs are sometimes arguing with the parents, they become rebellious child. That's why I told. Rebellious child, if they are adjusting, directly we can tell about adoptive. In adoptive, positive side is also, there is a negative side also. Rebellious children are the people who are fighting with arguing with the parent because they are knowledgeable. They are knowledgeable. It will be very difficult to answer them. There will be reason for them. Yes, that's the point. See, the natural child and free child, when they are asking, and you may give some reason, they may accept it. And it is difficult for with a rebellious child. Rebellious child with the coming with that particular point, and they'll be smart in asking the question. Agree? The way how they are to their maturity level. To their maturity level. Yeah, why does mostly elder children are adoptive? Because again, the parenting is playing a major role here. And I hope you must have heard this word from the parent to the elder children. You are elder in the family, and you have to take care of your brother, little brother, a little daughter, and you are matured enough. So even he is also child, but we expect too much of maturity from the child, and we are giving responsibility to that child. Yeah. So when they are, he is also baby. He is 5 years old. The next one is 3 years old. We are telling the 5 years old, you are matured person now, and you have to take care of your sister, who is 3 years old. this person started believing that he's too much of matured. He started accepting that, and even he tells openly that I am elder one, I have to take care. Agree? Got it, Shamir? Why? It is of the again the parental values. And you have no option. And they are programmed to sacrifice. They are programmed to adjust. They are programmed to give up. They are programmed to do many things for the family. They are programmed to take all the pressure from the childhood, because it has been programmed from the childhood. Many times we repeat it, and the society also does the same, and the movies also does the same. Agree? And it is the responsibility he is taking on his shoulders. And sometimes we can connect this with our day-to-day life. Many families, the father and mother, sometimes they don't take care because of the age and all. That the elder brother or elder sister will be taking care of them, because it's the customs what they see from the society. In many families, elder brother will get married after their siblings, younger sister and all getting married, and he'll be getting married after that, because he's shouldering all the responsibilities. He doesn't want to leave them just like that. And even in the financial burden and the financial part, and he'll be working hard comparing with the elder one. He'll be working hard, the younger eldest one, and will be doing for the family. And the younger one, when he becomes mature, and he'll be taking care of his own family. Forget about his brother. It all happens. Yeah. So this one we have studied how this hierarchy and all, how it is fixing. We have discussed in even in the marital counseling in detail. So when you are getting married, we can see this ego also. Which kind of ego, how it will be matching, and what kind of ego, that and all coming under marital counseling. Okay. So adoptive child is a matured child. Matured doesn't mean only the positive. Matured, it means even the arguments, rebellious action also. Rebellious, it may be for reasonable one according to you, or sometimes it may not be reasonable, but they are the people who are mature, and you will have to know to handle them. Otherwise, it will be difficult. Agree? Okay. If you are clear about adoptive child, can you please type A? So what do you mean by adoptive child? Is transaction analysis interesting? It's giving a new perspective about life, of understanding the people in different aspect, their background, how we can manage them. Yeah. Okay. Right. So how will you recognize ego state? That is another question. How will you recognize ego state? So now we got the clarity about ego states. Totally, 3 ego states are there. Under parent ego, how many subcategories there under parent ego? What all parent egos are there? 2. What all 2? In short, NP, CP. Okay, wonderful. Yes, we have a very talented and focusing participants today. Yes, right. So what all? What is the next one? Adult ego, child ego. So how many child ego states are there? How many child ego states are there? 3. Okay, what is the first one? What is the first one? NC. NC. We call it NC, natural child. Okay. Second one, free child, FC. Yeah. Second one, free FC. Third one, AC, adopted child. Okay. So we are telling in short because we will be discussing in various aspects in understanding, and we can put in our family, and we'll find out. So overall there and what category they are there. So those things we can analyze. Okay. So how will you find out? Yourself you will find out by even by doing a questionnaire, which you will be doing in the next class. The amazing questionnaire is there. By filling the questionnaire, you will understand what is that level of ego you are having. We'll have a discussion in the next class. And for other people, immediately you want to see and find out. So there are 4 methods of recognizing ego states. There are 4 methods. There are 4 methods how we can do it. I'll just give one line only and I'll explain in detail. I'll explain in detail how we'll find out. Yeah, I'll just give one line so that we'll go inside and find out. The first way of diagnosing or understanding a person's ego state, how will you find out? By seeing their behavior, their action, their posture, how he sits, how he is doing the action, how he is behaving. This is one method. This is method 1. First method is clear. How we are going to do, we'll discuss in detail. Just I'm giving the one-liner only. How will you find out a particular person, what kind of ego state he is having? Because when you are counseling, when you are doing counseling, and you will be analyzing the person. This person is what ego. For example, a couple who are coming for counseling, and you will be seeing, and this person, husband is which ego, wife is this ego. This is not the prejudgment thought. This is analysis. That's what we are going to do. And when we are analyzing, we'll be finding out, okay, husband is a little bit adult ego, and he wants to do everything perfectly, and he wants to think about the happenings, the logic things. And we'll discuss, we'll check wife's nature. Wife is some child ego. Even in child ego, she is free child. And the free child and adult ego, difficult to manage. Agree? Free child and adult ego, so it doesn't match. Unless and until one person is coming forward to change. Somebody is coming to adjust. It will be very difficult. A free child will be naughty and a free child will be creative. A free child will be curious. And when I know that the 2 different personalities are there, 2 different egos are playing here, and I will be in a position to give solution in the right way and making them understand each other. You are not same. You both have different nature, different background. So which may be the reason that frequently you are fighting. So why don't you do this one or that one? Why don't you come in that way? Why don't you change this way? So these kind of adjustments will be helpful. This kind of adjustment will be helpful. Understand the concept? Why we are studying TA? Apart from our own development, during counseling, it's an effective concept. You'll be in a position to find out. So how will you find out? These are the ways. Number 1, behavioral diagnosis. By their behavior, how they behave, how they sit, how they speak, their action. Based on that, we'll take a decision. And we'll understand what kind of ego they are having. Yeah? If you are clear about the one-liner, type 1, that first method to find out which ego they belong to. It's called the behavior diagnosis. Behavior diagnosis is basically by seeing their action, by seeing their posture, how they speak. Okay. And the social diagnosis, it looks like a behavioral analysis, but we check how they are interacting, how they are taking their responsibilities, how they are taking the roles. This understanding how they react in the society, how they behave. It's also kind of behavioral. It's also kind of behavioral how we have got. But in the society, how they respond. When they are going to a different people, how they respond. So the behavior diagnosis, we see individually how this person is there, 1-to-1. We analyze. In social diagnosis, we see 2 people how they communicate together. And what is the gap? And what these people should correct it. So even in counseling, so when I am analyzing with the one person, how he behaves, how he sits and all these things, that comes under behavior diagnosis. And social diagnosis means I am observing the same thing when he is communicating with her, how she is communicating with him, and how they are exchanging their words, and how he is going and speaking in public, how he is addressing the the team. All these things, if I see, so that comes under social diagnosis. We can say that this is the mass version of behavioral diagnosis. Social diagnosis is the mass behavior with the different people. By seeing them, we will understand what kind of ego they are having. If you are getting the idea, can you please type 2? So behavior, one person. Social means more than 2 persons involved and analyzing how they communicate each other. Based on that, we diagnose what ego this person is having. And we will be having the examples and all in upcoming classes. Can you please type 2 if you are understanding the social diagnosis? How we can diagnose? How we can diagnose a person? I can see one person and find out. I can see that person, how he is communicating, she is communicating with others and find out. These are the two ways. And we'll come back to the third way. I can diagnose a person by asking the person's past. And how did you, where did you live? And how your parents were there. For example, one person is coming and telling that I am getting angry. I am asking him. Now, I don't have any judgment. I don't have any analysis now. I'm just asking, okay, you are getting angry. What about your parent? How was your parents' nature? How did they behave? How did they get the things? How you are cooperative with them? Oh, my mother was also like that only. Whenever the discussions are there, and immediately my mother will shout, and she'll be getting angry. Then I'm getting idea that this person, whatever he's having now, the particular ego, whatever may be the ego, this is the ego, finding the ego only. This ego, from where it has come? From where it has come? So he's getting angry whenever there is a situation, yeah, and he's getting irritated. So whenever the questions are asked, and he is being tensed in different situations, and I am trying to find out and asking whether he is having the family history in that way. If I ask the question about the past and find out, that is called history diagnosis, historical diagnosis. That means I am getting some information from the past and getting a solution. Okay, in a simple way, you can understand. If we are asking from the past and understanding the ego level, it is called historical diagnosis. If you understand the meaning of historical, because this is just one liner only, we'll be going in detail with the example. Type 3. The historical diagnosis means you want to ask some question related to the past and find out what all methods can be used to find out the ego. Okay, right. The fourth one, phenomenological diagnosis. Phenomenological diagnosis is nothing but a person who had some sort of feeling 10 years back, 20 years back. If he is having when he's reliving now, if he's having the same intensity, that is called a phenomenological diagnosis. Sometimes we can find out some people, so they might have got some sort of trauma or some sort of negative experience in the past, but when they remember, they'll be having the exact intensity what they had during the childhood. It may be 20 years back or 30 years back. If a person is having the same intensity level what he or she experienced long back and experiencing the same now when he remembers, that is called phenomenological diagnosis. So how will you find out? We'll ask them when a person is not okay. We can ask them if they have got any issues, and to find out the intensity, we'll be asking them to just think about the incident which you don't like. So when they think about it, and immediately they'll be swelling, and immediately they'll be it will be triggered, and the body will be moving, shivering, and they'll be uncomfortable in thinking about that. That means the person still living with that. It's unfinished business. That means in psychology, unresolved. It has been not resolved. So unresolved issues are there with the client. Many times we will not be knowing these kind of problems are there with us. And when we ask them to relive, only will come to know. Suppose if you have doubt, and if the person is facing any problem in the past and living in the same ego, and it is reflecting in the present ego because of that, and there could be some corrections required, we can ask them to think about that particular state and find out what kind of intensity can be found out. This is called phenomenological diagnosis. Means the same experience, whatever they had in the past, if they have the same intensity in the mind, in the body, yeah, that is called a phenomenological diagnosis. Then you will find out. So this problem, this ego is not because of the present. This ego has been formed in the past, and they are facing some sort of feeling and experience in the same level. Still traveling with the same situation, but you may not be aware. When we are asking them to remember, and they will be remembering the exact the feeling, the intensity. If they are having in that way, that is called phenomenological diagnosis. If you are clear about that one liner, I'll be giving more example in the next class when we discuss. If you are clear about phenomenological diagnosis, P. The historical and phenomenological differences will be asking from where it came means historical. Phenomenological, where it came and are you facing it now? If you are feeling the same intensity what you had, then it should be phenomenological. That's all. These are the four methods. These are the four methods which will be helpful for us to find out a person's background and what kind of ego, how they have got it, and all these things. So the behavioral and social diagnosis, it has come mostly from the direct effect of child, adult, parent ego, what they have seen. And these two from the past behavior clues. Both are past. Past what happened and past how you felt and how you are feeling now. How are you feeling now? These are the ways to find out the ego states. So it will be helpful for us to move further with each ego state. First, we will discuss about behavioral diagnosis. How will you find out behavioral diagnosis? By seeing a person, yeah, and hearing from that person, verbal or non-verbal, both. What that person is using, what language he is using, the tone of voice, whether it's firm or soft or neutral or exclamatory. Some people they will be always with the explanatory voice. By analyzing that, we will find out. Number two, gestures and postures. Posture, how they sit, we'll discuss. How they are keeping the finger, whether their arms are open, the shoulders are slumped. Yeah, how they behave, how they sit. Those things can be understood. We will have some picture and find out what kind of person. And the third one is the facial expression. Some people they will be having the piercing looks. Piercing looks means they'll be the deep looking. They'll be looking like this. Sometimes the caring glances, okay. And then the face itself, they'll be caring. Sometimes neutral expressions. Sometimes no expressions also. That's called we can call neutral expressions. So there'll not be too much of expressions. which ego may be having neutral expressions? Which ego may have neutral expressions? Mostly adult ego. Caring glances. Caring glances from which ego we can expect? From NP. From parenting. From parent ego, NP. Pacing looks, it depends on what they look. If they are doing with exclamatory, something different. If they are serious, something different. Yeah. Controlling parent. Piercing look mostly comes from the controlling parent. I told you, when you are seeing the eyes and talking, piercing looks will be there. So when you are fighting with somebody, no, your eyes will be on them, and you'll be seeing like this. Agree? We'll be having some examples. The wide-eyed enthusiasm. I know. Which ego it may be? Child ego. It's a free child. It's a free child. Child doesn't want to control. Child doesn't want to control that ego state. Yeah. So these are the behavior, the states, and each and everything will be understanding. Why are you wearing those shoes today? Critical parent. Yeah. What if it is from nurturing parent? Why are you wearing these shoes today? Is from the critical parent means what it can be from nurturing parent. The question is that these shoes are not required today, not to be put today. Critical parent is coming up with this question. Why are you wearing those shoes today? It can be from nurturing parent in this way. Is there any reason to wear these shoes today? Agree? The subject matter is same. Is there any necessity? Do you like to wear these shoes today? Yeah. How about we try new shoes today? Do you want these shoes today? So delivering with the raised finger, piercing look, firm tone, strong posture. And when it is not corrected or unsolicited, and it can be an ego for children. And many times we see people who are coming for counseling, they are affected by this critical parent, the way how they handled. Agree? Because of the tone, the way how they handled, they may be telling the reason that they were coming up with the intention of changing them, changing the children. But how children has taken this, how they handled it, that is a question mark. So now we got the basic idea, no? In the behavior, how we can find out the behavior, how we can find out. So a person who is sitting straight, the balanced posture, neutral tone, looking straight ahead, clear, concise, and factual communication without emotional charge, not too much of talking. Are you able to connect? He may be having that adult ego state. Yeah. So we can find out each and every we go, every concept, we can have different ways to handle nurturing parent, leaning toward the person, soft tone, metaphorically, literally holding out a hand or carrying warm presence. That will be there with the neutral parent, nurturing parent. Rebellious child with high energy, going against the grind. Yeah. And they don't want to stick to everything, whatever the parent told. The defined language will be there. The restless body language. So this way we'll find out the rebellious child is there. The adopted child, tilted head, looking forward, looking upward, humble, submissions, compliance, maturity will be there. And we'll be seeing that my child is like a mature person. That may be there. The free child, we know that the open, enthusiastic, and freely expressive. They don't have to control. They don't want to control. Engaging, all these things will be there. So finding each and every personality, it will be helping us. And we'll be coming to know a lot about with the picture, how we can find out. So by understanding the behavioral analysis, how they sit, how they see, how they behave, their gesture, posture, tone, words. And hereafter, the way how you are seeing people will be different. And you'll be trying to find the ego state of that person. Yeah. This is the concept. Even the words, what they use, whether they're carefully using that language and delivery of language, all these things can be understood with that. Right? So these are the concepts. The ego states, vocabulary, and the postures, by sitting, by doing praying, what kind of state they are using, by taking care of the children, and even with the picture, how we can find out. So all these things we'll be finding out. So there are different ego states are there in that. The words, what they use, these are the concepts what we'll be discussing. The person who is sitting, the way how they are seeing, the person's sitting posture, we'll discuss in detail. The person who is with the sadness, what kind of ego state they are going through. This all we'll see in the next class. Okay. This is the concept. And the social diagnosis, all these things we'll do. Right. So what is your core learning today in transaction analysis? So what is your core learning today? You can raise your hand and talk, or you can type. Yes. Got the basic idea about TA? Yeah. So what is your core learning? So which one point you are going to take from today? Very important point. Yeah. Is that one point which you'll be carrying from today? Yes. Different ego state. Okay. Balancing EQ. Yeah. EQ. Balancing the EQ. Importance of EQ. Emotional quotient. Acting according to the situation. Wonderful. Wonderful, Shamli. So what is that one point we are going to take today? Yeah. Right. Fine. So those who want to know more about transaction analysis, you can contact the coordinator and join for the further classes. Thank you so much. We had energetic and interesting participants today. Thank you. We'll meet again in the next class. Thank you so much. Good night.